Hello Aries, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And that way you won't miss any of the weekly or monthly tarot readings that we do for your sign. So let's just get into it. What does Aries need to know for this coming week? Let's find out. First card today, all right, the High Priestess. That should be an interesting reading. We're going to lay out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread, and that is going to include a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, and I think today we're going to pick a card from the Hermetic Tarot as our bonus card, as our mystery card, confirmation card. Now, we're not going to look at this card until the very end of the reading, so stick around. And we're just going to see if this will, tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for, all right? So we're just going to put that right over here. And again, we're not going to look at that until the very end. And that's from the Hermetic Tarot. Okay. So what we see here, we see a lot of major arcana. First of all, I'm getting a lot of majors here. And, we started out with that High Priestess. All right, so that's a good way to go. This tells me, though, that things are changing. And right now, I don't know exactly what things are changing for you. We're going to get into some more of this energy. But this is a lot of, ebb and flow, right? The High Priestess is the moon, and it's a lot of ebb and flow. It's a lot of waxing and waning. So things are definitely changing. I think you're kind of feeling the flux of your life right now, where things are maybe on the increase, right? But maybe there's been a setback too, and it's kind of like it's going back and forth. And the reason why I say that, primarily because of this 5 of discs. So I think that you've experienced a lot of this up and down kind of sense in your life, and probably in the physical realm, like maybe in terms of finances, money, job security, maybe in your living situation. There's just been a lot of change. Things have been kind of good, kind of bad, back and forth, up and down, right? A little bit of that kind of roller coaster action. But we have the High Priestess there, which is saying that this is a lot of circumstances that are kind of outside of your control. A lot of what's happening here, a lot of this up and down, really not a lot you can do about it. It's nothing that you could have done differently. It's nothing that you could have changed. It's just kind of the way the universe is rolling right now for you, right? But we see some good signs. We see some good energy in the future and kind of as an overall kind of aura to this whole reading. And I'm going to go there first. This is the reading in a nutshell. This is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is telling me that if you're experiencing this up and down kind of sense right now, right, like in your finances or wherever this is taking place in this physical realm, you're experiencing this up and down, right? But things are really going to start picking up. You're going to see your luck. If you believe in luck, you're really going to see that turn around. Things are going to start happening in a major way for you, in a very successful, a very kind of grand way, right? A very large way. Because this Wheel of Fortune, again, major arcana card, heavyweight influence. This isn't something that you have a lot of control over. This is like a major force, a major tide is turning in your life. And again, I think right now you're experiencing just kind of a lot of waxing and waning, ebbing and flowing, up and down in terms of your finances or any other physical realm issue, right? So it could be ups and downs in health or finances, your job security, your workplace, your career. It could be in terms of your living situation or, your domestic life, something like that. But it's in the physical realm, right? So you're experiencing those ups and downs. And then in comes this Wheel of Fortune card. And I think it really is going to be a major turning point in your life where you're going to start to see a lot less of this moon influence, right? A lot less of this, again, this waxing and waning, this up and down kind of situation. It's going to be less of that and more of this Fortune card. And the Fortune card is Jupiter. It's all about expanding. It's all about trust and faith and hope and generosity. Really big thing. It is really jovial. It's really energetic and lighthearted, but it's very big, very large, right? It's a grand influence in your life right now. And I think that that's kind of giving this idea that the The ups and downs, right, the kind of roller coaster action is going to be over, and it's just going to be continued success, growth, expansion, right? So wherever it is in your life that you're experiencing these ups and downs, it's going to change. And that's because we have that Wheel of Fortune card. Major influence. And this is telling me what the entire reading is about, right? I usually get to this card a little bit later, but I wanted to go kind of straight to it today because, you know, we see this 5 of discs and we kind of get a little nervous about it because this is usually not ever a positive card, right? It doesn't really have a whole lot of good associations. It's usually about anxiety, money worries, a lot of stress, right? But then we've got that Wheel of Fortune. So this right off the bat is saying, look, things are going to get a heck of a lot better for you. Let's find out some more things that are going on. Let's look at some of these other energies. We see in the recent past this 4 of Swords. So I think that part of the issue today is just maybe these ups and downs causing a bit, speaking of up and down, it's upside down. It's causing some friction in your life, right? I think that maybe it's kind of affecting your relationships with people. Maybe you're just a little bit more short-tempered. The people around you are stressed out. You're stressed out. And it just leads to a little bit of bickering, a little bit of fighting. And it's just, I think because everybody's so wound up. And I think it's the stress of this up and down kind of living right now where things are just, they're good one minute, they're bad the next, or they're looking positive today and then tomorrow you could take a loss again, right? I think that's causing a lot of stress. And I think that maybe there was a particularly intense argument that you had recently that's kind of over and done with, but you're still feeling it a little bit. And I think this is why the energy is coming in to the reading today. And this is from the recent past. So this is, you know, something that's been going on recently in your life, and it may be something that's just kind of, it's starting to resolve now. Maybe there was that one big argument and now that's over, but it's still there, right? It's still kind of lingering, right? And I think this is the reason kind of why you're here today, is because there was this friction with this person. And I have an idea who that person might be, but we'll get to that when we hit the path of the serpent over here. But for now, I think that's some of the energy that you're bringing to the reading today, is this 4 of Swords, this kind of, this argument, this basic, you know, maybe the argument, maybe the issue hasn't really been resolved, hasn't been solved, right? There's not a solution to it yet, but the argument is over, right? Maybe there was that kind of blow up, nothing really got figured out, but the argument itself is over, right? That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. And I really think it has to do with the ebb and flow of your circumstances right now. It's kind of that uncertainty, right? Where it's good one minute, bad the next, it's up, it's down. And I think that's what's going on. But again, I want to stress this Fortune card, this Jupiter energy, it's really going to be a big influence. It's really going to bring you a lot of grace, a lot of like expansion, a lot of growth. And it's really up to you to kind of trust in that. And perhaps down the road when you look at this situation and you look at these ups and downs, you know, maybe there will always be ups and downs, but every up is a little bit higher than the last one. And every low is a little bit less low than it was. So you're still on that upward trajectory, right? Even though it's kind of a bumpy road. So I think that's what Jupiter and that Fortune card are bringing you this week, is some of that energy that you're going to start to feel, right? I think an underlying influence, some below the surface, some subconscious energy is this Death card. And this Death card could be really right, I think. Let's do this together. Wheel of Fortune and the Death card, right? How do these two go together? One seems kind of good, one seems kind of bad, right? But the Death card is not bad in any way, right? I think that what this is indicating is that more than this just being a lot of good grace in your life, a lot of expansion and growth, right? I think it's literally going to be a transformative kind of growth. I think this Wheel of Fortune, coupled with this Death energy, is really, I don't even know how to express this. It's really like putting an end to that old way of living, that old cycle, that old kind of up and down uncertainty, I think is going to really be gone. It's really going to be wiped out completely, and something new is going to take its place. And that new something is going to be growing through this Jupiter energy, right? Because Jupiter is about expansion and growth, right? And first, the old stuff has to be cleared away. The old thinking, the old habits, the old routine, the old way of doing your business, whatever it is, wherever this is taking place. You have to kind of clear out everything that's not working to make room to prepare the soil, let's say, for this new growth that we get with this Jupiter and Fortune card here. Okay, so it's really, this process is kind of, it goes hand in hand, and these two cards I think should be taken together, not only because they are literally, on the vertical axis of this spread here, so they're right, above and below each other. So they are kind of, one is the soil, which is the death card, and then one is that new growth with the Jupiter Wheel of Fortune card. Right? Is that making sense? So it really needs to be, the soil needs to be prepared. You have to clear the ground. You have to really clear out what's not working. Get rid of all of the old, whatever it is, whatever domain this is taking place, right? If this is a health, wellness, well-being situation of fitness, if this is financial, or if this is in your home, your domestic life, wherever this is taking place, you have to really do some spring cleaning. I know we're not in spring, at least in the northern hemisphere. But it's that kind of attitude. Just get rid of everything you're not using, right? To make room for that new growth with that Jupiter energy. So I think it's a major shift in your life, a major change, some major growth that's going to be taking place. But first you got to clear the ground, prepare the soil, right? And then speaking of growth, right, and expansion, which kind of leads me into creativity and that energy and that ambition. And, what are you going to be creating? What is this Jupiter Wheel of Fortune energy going to be growing? Right? What are the seeds that you're planting? Well, we've got that devil energy. And so this, the devil card obviously is Capricorn. This is a very ambitious, very practical, productive energy. Right? So this is you really taking this death and fortune card, this energy, right? Preparing the soil and allowing this new growth to come in, accepting it, welcoming it, trusting it with that Jupiter energy. It's really going to lead to some really awesome opportunities for you to be productive, creative, successful. You're going to have this feeling of ambition, like you're unstoppable. And this is that energy that, is now going to do the work to really manifest what you've prepared, or what is being sort of prepared for you, right? Because major arcana cards, it's kind of happening to you rather than you being the one to facilitate it, although you still have choices to make, you still have actions to take in order to prepare your world for this new growth, right? So the way is going to be cleared for you. The opportunity will be there. Everything will be as harmonious and in place and ideal as it possibly could be for you. The circumstances will be spectacular. What are you going to do with those circumstances? What are you going to do with that opportunity, right? All the universe can really do is prepare the way for you, but it's up to you to take the action. And that's this devil card. This is that creative spirit that's within you that is just going to be, again, major arcana card, heavyweight influence. It's going to feel like you're an unstoppable force, and you might not even know where this ambition and creativity is coming from. It's almost like something behind you just pushing you forward. And that's the devil energy that we see here. And this is what you really need to embrace moving forward into the future. See, this week, I think, is all about this death and fortune energy. It's all about clearing the way for this new opportunity, clearing the way for this new growth, right? And then later in the week or in the following week and the next, as time moves on, you're going to start to feel this devil energy. So this is the future a little bit, right? This isn't right now today, but this is coming in the next few days, next few weeks. And it's going to be that push of ambition and just productivity and success and this endurance to keep creating. It's going to be really energetic. It's really going to be a strong, powerful energy. It's going to feel like you're just being propelled along by some unknown force, right? But that's coming in the future. Now let's move over to the path of the serpent here, because there's some energy here that I really do want to talk about, and some other figures that may be involved in this. First of all, I want to look at this Five of Wands. This is in the position of your ego. This is in the position of your attitude right now, your general energy. And I think this is one, there's two ways of looking at this, and I say that a lot. There's usually two ways of looking at everything, right? At least two. But on the one hand, this is kind of your frustration right now. And I think because of this ups and down, this Five of Discs and the Four of Swords, you know, that this just friction, right? This stress and maybe this arguing, bickering kind of energy that's going on. I think you're really frustrated. I think you're kind of at your wit's end. You have this kind of a short fuse right now. It seems like you're kind of short-tempered lately. And I think it's because of everything that's going on. It's because of the situation that we see with that frustration, right? The ebb and flow, the ups and downs that you're experiencing. I think they're wearing on you, and I think they're shortening your fuse a little bit. And that's just something to be aware of, right? I think that's your headspace right now, or at least in the last few days, couple weeks, maybe longer. But you just have this almost aggressive energy where the little things set you off now where maybe they didn't used to, right? And so this is something to pay attention to, because this could get out of hand. And that leads me into this next card, which, the other two, the second, right? I said there were two possible ways of looking at this. One is that kind of short fuse, the frustration, right? On the other hand, and it's kind of the similar vein here, I think, with this Five of Wands, is still that fighting spirit that you have. And, you know, it's different than you're frustrated and you're kind of fighting with everybody, right? And bickering and the little things are annoying you, right? That's one way, I think, that you feel. But on the other hand, you have this energy, this kind of Aries energy about you that wants the competition. You want to fight and get through this, right? You're not someone that's just passive, that you just give up, right? So this is a little indication of what this devil energy, this Capricorn kind of energy is going to be about for you. And I think you already have a little bit of that, where it's like not that you like the struggle, you like overcoming struggle. Does that make sense? You have that spirit about you that wants to conquer, that wants to like tackle these issues and exert your force and your energy, and you want to win. You want to come out on top. You have that competitive edge, that fighting spirit, right? And I think maybe now that fighting spirit is manifesting as that annoyance, that short-temperedness, that bickering and fighting, right? Because maybe you're not sure really what to rally against. You're not sure where to direct your fighting spirit, that real Aries energy, you know? And so it's just it's seeping into your other relationships a little bit. And that brings me to this Knight of Wands. And this is describing your relationships with other people, right? Now, this could be, again, it could be two things. It could be that short-temperedness really seeping into your other relationships, right? Really affecting how you interact with the people that are close to you, your friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, whatever. It could be that you're kind of defensive, or you're really quick to take offense or be on the offense. You know, you're quick to action. You're quick to kind of to react to things, and that probably doesn't come across in the best way, because there's this fighting spirit and this frustration that, like I said, is kind of seeping in to your other relationships. It's just you're really quick to spit a little bit of fire. This also could be an indication of a particular relationship that you have with someone who is maybe also a fire sign, maybe somebody who's older. But those details I don't think are all that important, right? Maybe they're older than you. I don't see how it matters. But they could be also a fire sign, or they could be really possessing the same kind of fire that we're talking about with you. The fire that is really eager to make things happen, right? And to conquer and to win and to fight. But it's manifesting as short-temperedness and, this argumentative energy. So it could be that the two of you together, when you're in the same room, it's just a lot of tension, a lot of heat, a lot of fire, because you're both feeling this fire energy. Okay? So that's just something to be aware of too, that this could be, if this is your person, someone that you see every day, someone that you talk to a lot, someone you live with perhaps, your partner, or whatever it is. I think there's a lot of tension there because you both have this fiery element about you. Okay? And that's something to just be aware of, because I think it is being affected by this whole situation we saw in the path of the dove. I think it really is affecting your relationships in general, but in particular with this, your main person. Okay? Now, the next card that we see, we had all this fire here. Right now we have some water. We have the Hanged Man. And again, this is a major influence. This is a heavyweight card. This is, a major arcana. So what is this saying here in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns? Well, I think this is the obvious anxiety that is coming from whatever these ups and downs are, whatever this stress, this uncertainty is in your physical world. I think the worry here is really that you're going to be just suffering this for forever. Like, this is just how life is, and it's just going to be, this is it. Like, this is the level of suffering that you're going to have to get used to, right? That there's no getting out of this. It's almost like, you're in this position and there's really nothing you can do. You're just kind of stuck there. And there's really not a lot you can do to get yourself out, to turn things around, or to alleviate this kind of suffering. Now, it may be literal suffering, right? I really pray that it's not. But there's still the mental and emotional suffering and the stress and the fighting and the uncertainty of these ups and downs, right? That are kind of giving you this pessimism of like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is just what my life is, right? And so it's feeling stuck in this state of suffering, right? To a greater or lesser degree. And I really do pray that it's not anything serious. But again, we have this good news. We have this good news, this good Jupiter news. And I think this is really, for me, this is the linchpin of the whole reading. This is what I really am happy to see. This is what my eye keeps looking at. If you notice me always like looking that way, I'm just eyeing this fortune card because I think this is really that grace, right? And it's Jupiter. It's just expansion. It's love. It's grace. It's like taking care of you. It's like things are going to be okay, right? And I think it's going to really be some major growth. I think once the way is cleared, once the soil is prepared, like I keep using that metaphor, it's going to be some really good growth, really good success. And so you have this fear of like, this is the suffering that I have to get used to. This is where I'm stuck. There's no way out. I think you're going to overcome this fear. I think you have to overcome this fear, because what we see next on the path of the serpent is this Prince of Discs. Now, again, this could be another person involved in some way, and I could easily say, oh, well, this is the person that, you're going to have to talk to or meet up with or work with or just kind of join forces with in order to get over all of this Five of Discs energy, right? Because we have discs, earth and earth. So these two cards are connected. So it could be that you have to meet with this maybe younger earth sign person, right? Someone who's going to be doing the physical work of something. You have to meet with that person. You have to join forces with that person, and that's going to solve this Five of Discs, this uncertainty, this anxiety, something to do with that person. You got to hook up with them. That's who you got to team up with to get through this, right? It could be that literal, that specific of a prediction, You know, I never claimed to be psychic. I don't know if this is an actual person. What I do know is that this Prince of Discs is also intimately connected with this devil energy, right? Capricorn, Earth, Prince of Discs, Earth. And this, I think, is more representing what you've got to do, right? I don't know who you're going to meet, who you have to link up with or team up with to get through this. I don't know any of that. The message I'm getting is that you're going to feel this force propelling you to work, to be productive, to take action, to, you know, you're going to have this motivation. It's really going to be like that unseen force pushing you forward, giving you that drive, that creative drive, that ambitious drive, that just enduring energy, right? The Prince of Discs is saying, yeah, that's all fine and good, but you have to actually use that. You have to put that unseen force and all of that ambition and endurance and that energy to be creative and to work and to do and produce. You have to actually do the work. And so the Prince of Discs is a very practical card. This is someone who's down in the dirt, building stuff, making stuff, using their hands, like doing the actual labor, right? It's one thing to have that force behind you, but you could resist it, you could ignore it, you could channel it into something that's just completely ridiculous, but not with this Prince of Discs. So I think this is the real message, the real omen here, is that in the future, because again, this devil energy is in the coming days, the near future, right? And the Prince of Discs is at the end of the path of the serpent. We have the end of the path of the dove, and then the end of the path of the serpent. So this is another future projection. It's the culmination of all of this energy. So these cards are really intimately connected. They're kind of in the same positions as each other. They're of the same essence and the same energy, but one is kind of potential and one is kinetic, right? One is just like, well, what could be? What are you going to feel? What's going to be propelling you forward? Needs to have a practical, tangible outlet. And you have to do the work. You have to make the decision to embrace that energy and do the work, right? And I think that's the message here for the future. The message for today and this week, like I said, is acknowledging what's going on right now and allowing these two here to really clear the way, prepare the soil. I know I'm working that metaphor to death. And allow this expansion and growth to start happening. Right? It's gross in the sense it's physical, it's tangible, right? There's the subtle and there's the gross. It's the physical material. And I think that is really what the Prince of Discs is talking about, that you have to really use this energy that you feel, that you're going to be kind of propelled by, and do the physical work, right? Get your hands dirty. All right. Now let's look at this confirmation card. And again, we're using the Hermetic Tarot. This could be literally anything. This could be another Wheel of Fortune. It could be another Prince of Discs. We're using a different deck, so this could be a repeat of any of these cards that we've seen already today. And we have a Six of Swords. So this is an interesting confirmation for me. This is, really saying that, again, if you look at this, the title is the Lord of Earned Success. So I think this is a confirmation on the one hand that, yeah, if you do the work, right, you get your hands dirty, having all of this energy is not enough. You have to get your hands dirty and do the work. If you do that, you will have earned this wonderful Jupiter grace, trust, growth, expansion, love, right, that you have, that you're accepting into your life. You will have earned that success, right? So that's what this card is about. And being the Six of Swords, this is a beautiful card. I should use this deck more often. But being the Six of Swords, this card is also about having that wonderful plan and strategy for the future, right? You have to stay organized and you have to, really plan things out, and you can't have any kind of self-doubt or any of these like mental tricks, these things that our mind will do to convince us to do something other than what we're doing, right? It always has a different idea, this mind of ours. So you really have to stick to it. You have to have a clear, focused plan. You have to be balanced in your mental energy. All right, the Six of Swords, all about balance, all about the beauty of your mind, of your intellect, of your planning abilities. And I really think that it's, it's not quite enough to just get your hands dirty and play in the mud. It has to be organized. It has to lead towards your success. You have to earn that success. You have to have the plan to do that. So this is a really good confirmation that is just, to me, this really does tie the whole reading together and just says that, look, yeah, you have all of this wonderful energy. You need to put it to practical use, and you need to be organized. You need to be smart about it. And you're going to have this wonderful success, and we can really embrace this Jupiter Wheel of Fortune. Now, we're going to look at this a little bit more in the extended version if you want to become a member of this channel. Click on the link in the description box. I think it's well worth it. You let me know what you think. Leave me some comments. This was your weekly tarot forecast on Dove and Serpent Tarot.